Right.
grandparents. Yeah.
Good. Hi, hello, namaste, good evening, everybody, to the fifth episode of XENA SALON Season 2. With me, your host, Kapil Dev. Today, on our fifth episode, we have an interesting guest, a guest who has his roots from Pakistan, the Punjab side of Pakistan, the guest who came in to India seeking asylum, the guest whose family has had its tough times, but yet with their grit and valor, they have stood by the storm and by the wind and excelled in academics, in enterprise, in corporate world, and in living a life to the fullest. Let's welcome Sanjay Roy, all the way from Dilwalo ki Delhi, Delhi Belly. Namaste, Sanjay ji.
Thank you, Kapil. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
तो मुझे थोड़ी बहुत पंजाबी आती है कि कितने
Actually, मुझे ज़्यादा नहीं आती. Actually, I never. Actually, I was born in Delhi only. My parents and grandparents, like they came during partition. They shifted from part of Punjab, now in Pakistan, to Delhi.
Right.
So they shifted here, and then it was starting again the life because they left all their belongings and fields and agricultural land, everything over there, and they had to restart the life. So, but I was born, as you can see, like I was born much later. In '64, I was born. So I'm right now 59.
So,
And
where did you grow up with the stories about from your grandparents about Punjab, about Pakistan, about the partition? I'm sure it has not been an easy story to tell to anybody.
yeah,
But have you
what I
grown up
know,
with the stories?
yeah, but we keep hearing everything was left. Luckily, my father was studying in India before partition. He did his like
Okay.
engineering from Bharat Hindu University. At that time, it was common engineering, electrical and mechanical. So
Right.
he did like 1942. He passed out from BHU.
Oh,
So
wow.
before
Wow.
partition, he was having a job in India in All India Radio. But
Oh,
other members in the family, like his sisters and brothers and parents, they were in part of Punjab, which was left in Pakistan. So they had to shift. So as a result, like all belongings and everything, their jobs, everything got affected. But luckily, my father was in Delhi only. So in fact, he could take care of many of them when they
right.
shifted.
Okay.
So that way we were little lucky. So I think it's a blessing in disguise also because we were in some village like near Multan.
Okay.
The language we were speaking at home at the time was Multani because we were next to Multan district. Uh, but it's a blessing in disguise because we came to Delhi, the capital. And then,
Right.
although we started from scratch, but we get some advantage by being in Delhi over the years. I think overall it was a blessing in disguise, but definitely many difficulties they must have faced. So I've just heard some
So,
stories. Yeah,
the kind of Punjabis that I know as a person, the friends I have are, of course, they're very fun-loving. They love the music, they love the culture, love their music, they love dance. They're very hardworking,
yeah,
and they're all go-getters. You know, they don't see them giving up on them. And काम कोई छोटा नहीं होता है, हर चीज उनको काम छोटा या बड़ा काम कर लेते हैं. This is a general attitude I've seen in Punjabis,
yeah, that
people
is
I know,
right. Yeah,
and
that is right.
right. And it's a part of the DNA structure of how you guys are made.
Yeah, very much. What you said is correct. There is no work which is small. That is the general belief we have in Punjabis. Because many of our like relatives, like they were holding some good position over there, but when they came here, that job was lost or they were having some agricultural land, so everything is lost. So they started like in a very small way in trading. So while
Right.
they were doing trading, it's only there was no commission because they had to compete with already existing businessmen in Delhi. So the story I heard is they used to do trading only on the Bori. like they're supplying some like wheat, and their margin would be only the bori, only that bag. So that is how they started, most of the Punjabis in Delhi. But as you can see now, over the years, now they are very prosperous community in Delhi. So many Punjabis, they're doing very well and all over India. So that is their story. So really, they are
So,
hard working.
like yesterday, I was speaking of you, even like Punjabis, we people from the land of Telugu, Hyderabad, share the similar culture. We love our food, we love our biryani, we love our the platter that we have, and we all are food lovers. And at the same time, are very hard work because even this land of Telangana, the Telugu land, we fought against, we fought for our freedom.
Yeah,
And our freedom was much later than the freedom that India got. So 1952 that we got our freedom on this
yeah,
land of Telangana. So people are
yeah,
as much as rebellious and as much as strong-willed and independent, but also we love our language, food,
yeah,
culture, and of
yeah.
course we love our movies, and which is why Tollywood is doing so well.
Yeah, same
So
here, same here. Very
say
fun-loving and
similar culture that I could
yeah,
relate myself with
yeah,
Punjab is the
almost
same.
similar. But Punjabi, one thing, like we believe in style and show off also. So even if we don't have the money, we will show up as if we are very rich. So even if we cannot afford a car, we will take on loan and ask friends, take some money and
Yeah.
then own a car and show to our neighbors that we are rich. I think in South it is the other way
Yeah,
around, but I
yeah, it is. It
understand.
is
Like
very
they,
little conservative about
yeah,
spending
more,
money.
yeah, like they may be very rich, but they are very simple. That is good thing. So
Simple
here it's
life
the
and
other way.
more prominence on the
So you cannot say which is
education
right
and
and which is wrong. So you have to
literate.
enjoy your life. So I think Punjabi style, even if you don't have money, you still enjoy it.
So you still enjoy, and I was talking about how education has been a prominence for us in here in the Southern, and for
Yeah,
you to find your way
education.
into IIT Kanpur
Yeah, it was
and
not
the
easy.
journey that you. Hmm,
Yeah, that's an interesting. I have a little anecdote on that. Like, it was, I was not a good student. Actually, I'm not from very good school also either. Uh, both my brothers, like they went to good school. Uh, my since my father was a government servant, like he was in All India Radio, and later he shifted to Indian Supply Services. So salary was not much. Actually, my eldest brother, he also went to do dairy technology from NDRI, and second brother also went for merchant navy, and both of them were studying in like Saint Columbus, and so expenses were quite high. So I don't know whether I was wanted child or not. So I was born like there's a gap of 13 years uh, uh, between me and my eldest brother, and eight
oh,
years with the second one. So anyway, like when I was born, like I think there was not much enough money at home because they spent
right,
everything on the two brothers. So and at that time, this Kendriya Vidyalaya schools came up. So we were
yeah,
living
yeah,
in Gold Market. So my
right.
father, since he was in a transferable job and government job, so many people suggested to him, why don't you try Kendriya Vidyalaya? Like you will save some money, and it's a good school. So with that leap of faith, I was put in Kendriya Vidyalaya. I studied from Gold Market. So I think 4 or 5 years we were in a tent, like school. There was
Oh,
no building,
oh,
and when
all
the
right.
teacher is like teaching, so I used to look outside. And, very difficult to concentrate uh, because there is a nature, there is a rain, and some birds are coming.
Oh,
So I was
wow.
more focused on them, not on the teachers. I was not a good
Wow.
student, and I remember like sixth or seventh and eighth, I used to flunk most of the subjects. My father used to teach me. It was a bilingual Kendriya Vidyalaya. So my father used to teach me English, mathematics, and science, and my mother used to teach me Hindi, Sanskrit, and social studies because they were
Social
in Hindi
studies.
bilingual.
Right.
So in all the three subjects, my father used to teach me, I used to flunk. Like I failed sixth, seventh. I remember I failed in mathematics, English,
Hmm.
as well as science.
I love the way
But
you just smile about it and just talk.
so, but like they used to, but my attendance used to be 100%. Because my school was next to my house.
All right.
And when the bell used to ring, like I used to hear at my home, so there is no way I can not go to school. So my attendance used to be 100%. Then end of the year, my father will go to the school and say, like I did my duty. My son had 100% attendance. I think something problem in your education system. He is not being like. So anyway, they would promote me. My report would be like failed but promoted, something like that. Because of 100% attendance, I was
So
promoted.
what inspired you to take these? I mean, talking about your journey, about your sixth and seventh and eighth standard, and you must have gone through a lot as a child as well. There should be some spark that must have lit you, and some kind of
Yeah,
inspiration that must have got
yeah.
you to get
Actually,
to
it's
IIT Khan.
just an accident. Actually, what happened? I was a backbencher, and I never used to pay attention to what teachers are saying. That was till eighth standard till that, till ninth also, half yearly it was like that. Then in like in mathematics, just because maybe I cheated or just by fluke, I got like good mark, like suppose 60% or something, like 10 marks. There was a quiz and I got 6 marks. And there used to be a girl in the class who everyone used to like. So when I'm saying everyone used to like, so you can just include me also that list.
I understand.
And so she got less marks.
I hope Madam is not listening.
So she got less marks than me. Like she got maybe
Okay.
5, I got 6. So she started crying in the class.
All right.
So when like other people asked her like what happened, like she said even Sanjay I got more marks than me. So that was my image. Like it's a kind of tougher in the class. So I can't get more. So that really hurt me a lot. Uh,
Okay.
and after that, I became determined
All
that I
right.
will do well in mathematics.
That one
So,
incident
yeah,
got you
so
through it.
that's one incident. So
Right.
that I started studying mathematics, and gradually I got interest in mathematics. And then through mathematics, I got into other like physics. If you know mathematics, then physics also you can be good in physics also.
Become easy
Yeah,
for you.
so
Yeah.
then physics became easy. Then some other people were talking about IIT, and then I think once you are good in mathematics, then it becomes the path becomes easy, and then it is coaching and all that Agrawal classes during that time. But I really slogged after that because I had to cover up. Like from my nursery KG to ninth, I was totally zero, and then
Right.
from 10th, I have to pick up 10th, 11th,
Right.
12th. So
Right.
I really slogged. And
Right.
luckily, first attempt I could get into IIT. Otherwise, I
Wow.
was nowhere.
Hmm.
In the board exams, I could not have got into any engineering college.
So
So that
what
was,
subject did you choose in engineering, sir? What was the
uh,
line?
yeah, I did chemical engineering.
Wow, wonderful.
Chemical engineering. 82 to 86
So
back.
talk us through your IIT Kanpur journey, sir. How what are the learning procedures and what how it helped you in
Oh,
becoming who
really?
you
Like
are?
that's a great institute. Not only Kanpur, like any IIT, it was really eye opener. One is during that time it was a relative marking, so it was not absolute. I'm talking about 82 to 86. Uh, Marks you may get like 20% or 30% marks in the exam in IIT, but still you can get A. Uh, because if everyone got less than you, like you got 20%, other people got 16, 18, 15, 14. So you are the in the top 10%, then you will get A. And A is like 10.
Right.
So even if your CPI or SPI, like semester performance index or cumulative performance index, even if you are at 8 or 9, doesn't mean you got 80% or 90. Your marks may be just 30%, 40%. So even with 30, 40% marks, you can get high score. Also the reverse, like if the paper is easy, like some papers are very easy, so you may score 80% marks, but still you may get a D which is 40%,
All right.
like 4 points.
So
So
after
that
your
kind-
IIT Kanpur, did you get to start working in a chemical industry or being a chemical engineer?
Yeah, my first job,
or
yeah. Actually, I took chemical engineering. Actually, it's mainly driven through because in Indian system, uh, actually your interest doesn't count much. It is your rank, all India rank,
Right.
which decides which
Right.
engineering you will get into. Because everyone wants, most of the people, 99% people want like computer science, and then it goes to electrical, then like mechanical, then comes chemical, like that. There is a flow,
Right.
and then
There's a flow of
like
it. Yeah.
civil or chemical, and then people will go
Right.
for meta,
Right.
auto, like aeronautical, like that. So 99% will follow that. There are some people, like some genius, those who want, like, okay, they're getting computer science, but they want to do like mathematics. So there are some people like that. But most of us were like that. It's all India rank driven system. So everyone will follow. It's a herd mentality. Everyone wants to follow the trend and where you will get more salary. So that's the kind of uh, Indian education system. So your interest doesn't matter much. So I got, based on my all India rank, I got my chemical engineering. So once I took that, then later you realize, like as a chemical engineer, like if I have to work in a petrochemical or any industry, then I cannot be in a city. Very difficult unless you get into consultancy work. So I was not very keen. I wanted to stay in city only. So I took my first job in Bombay, near Bombay, Thane, Fiberglass Milkington, FGP Limited. So I was there
Oh,
three and
wow.
a half years as a management trainee and then process engineer. And then I realized, like I should move to. I was getting married also, so I realized I should shift to Delhi and take up sales job in the same company. I came to Delhi in on a sales role. So I was getting the feeling that salespeople are enjoying more. So I shifted to Delhi.
The more the
Uh,
flamboyant side.
so I was not that much. Actually, my aim was at that time. My aim was not to be good engineer like in the school. My aim was like it was just an ego that I got hurt and I want to do well and in
Prove
mathematics
yourself.
and I want to prove myself that I want to get into IT. That's an ego
Right.
issue.
Right.
So it was nothing to do with my interest in engineering. So actually, I was not that much interested in engineering. I was more interested in getting into IT. So once I got into IT, there is no goal for me further.
Right.
Engineering, I just like passed, and then I did my first job was in manufacturing. Then I moved to at the earliest opportunity I left engineering and I came to sales. Uh,
Sales. Right.
and then I did my MBA in marketing
Right.
from FMS. And then I got into GE, General Electric, and that was in business development. I was industry manager for electrical and lighting market segments in India. And from there on, then the Six Sigma came. Like Jack Welch was very serious
Right.
about Six Sigma and G. So that is the time I thought I can maybe combine my business development with my engineering background and love for mathematics. So I took up Six Sigma. So I became green belt. Then I got interested in that subject, and then I became black belt and master black belt. So eventually, uh, I used Six Sigma to move industries. So from like plastic industry, G Plastics, I moved to Singapore in part of G Capital in ERC business, reinsurance business. I could move to in G Capital, and from there I came back to India as a Genpact like VP relationship for finance and accounting shop. And then my next move was I came to Samsung Electronics as a head of quality and uh, so Samsung, I stayed the longest. 20 years I was in Samsung. So before that, G, I was 8 years, and before that, FGP, 8 years. So I only worked in three companies. Like 36 years of my corporate life, I only worked in three companies. The first company, 8 years. Second company, also 8 years. And then third company, 20 years. So I was heading Six Sigma. Then I moved to setting up the marketing
So there's a lot of
academy.
paradigm shift from where you started as a chemical engineer, then went to the
Yeah,
sales,
actually every
then
3 to
moved
4
on
years
to
I shifted. Yeah,
into
that's right.
the human resources.
Yeah,
Totally, you covered all wide arenas of the
yeah.
of the industry. Yeah, kind of
Actually, yeah, you are right.
transition.
Actually, I never worked in one role for more than 4 or 5 years. One role.
Okay.
So if you have to spend like 36 years in corporate, and one typical role in corporate is only 2 to 3 years. Because 2 to 3 years you can prove yourself in any role. After that, you're
Right.
just passing time.
Right.
So if you look at my journey, first job like manufacturing, I was 3.5 years. Then I came to
Right.
sales 4.5 years. Then I got into G business development again 4 years. Then I got into quality 4 years in
Right.
G. Then again business relationship 1 year. Then Six Sigma, it was extended because I again came to Samsung in Six Sigma, so another 2 years, Six Sigma. Then like marketing academy, 2 to 3 years. Then leadership academy, 2 to 3 years. Then HR head for mobile division, software mobile division, like 4 years. Then another shifted the business. So in consumer electronics business, HR head, again 5, 6 years. So like that.
So I want to ask about start world.
Yeah, so that is you can easily move because once you grow, it's not your technical
And
skills which matter. It's more of your managerial.
have you imagined that the corporate world would be what it is right now, and you'll see India to be evolved to such a level that has gone to a level now where we find a whole lot of corporates right now in India,
Yeah,
and
yeah. No,
particularly
never.
after the
Yeah,
liberalization.
earlier it was
I
not
just
so.
want. Hmm.
Yeah, you're right. So earlier it was not so. Everyone like wanted when I started my career. So everyone wanted to go to IIMs or like get into IAS. So very few engineers would remain as engineers. So they will do other things to earn more money, or they will go
Right,
abroad, or
right,
they will go for MS. Most of the
right,
IITians they go abroad because they get scholarship and they go for MS, and they eventually end up doing doctorate and then get into research or in corporate life. Uh, but things have changed. Now you don't have to move out. I think in India there are so many opportunities. There is no need
right.
to go abroad and like to get better experience. So within India, you can get very good experience and even salary. That differential is not that much. Earlier it used to be 4 times, 5 times more salary in US. And like when I went to Singapore, my salary became 3 times. But when I came back on the same salary. So doesn't so the situation changed by the time in India. So in India also you can get the same salary. Uh, so
Yeah,
there's
yeah. I
no
mean,
need.
of course, there's no dearth of money now in India
Yeah,
and there's neither dearth of talent nor the money or the opportunity.
yeah.
Everything is available
In
right
fact, there are
now,
more opportunities in India.
and
Like
it is
if we
just
don't
about
have, if we don't have a global experience, if Indians don't have global experience, it's not such a big problem. But if
right.
people from other countries don't have Indian experience, that is a problem for them.
Oh, oh, wow, that's a nice take.
So Indian experience or Asia experience is more valuable.
So you have seen the evolution of the whole of how India has grown from the 80s that you took up the job, then to what you see right now, and you also see a lot of young forces, youth forces right now picking up the corporate world. And it's just on a personal understanding that when things become very easy for you, you don't really understand the value for it, you know. And as in I see more of the youth, as much as the money that they're making, their personal well-being has been a question mark. How would you like to address that? Because you live this world, you live this life, and I'm sure you have seen the ups and downs. And what is that one kind of message that you want to leave to the young workforces who are in the corporate world, much like you?
Yeah, I think I would tell them to avoid mistakes I made. So one is you should not think too much about what others are thinking about you. I think that is the biggest mistake. So you should enjoy your work, and so other things will come. Uh, so don't be after like salary or promotion or what other people are thinking or how they will perceive you. That can be a big problem. So just enjoy the work, and other things will come. So you have to be the way you are. So don't try to be someone else and try to copy someone or try to impress someone. And so your natural self should come out. Your originality should come out. So that is the key, I think, uh, which I learned little hard way, uh, which many of us understood later, in earlier generation. So nowadays, people, I think, still they are better off.
Oh, you see that the younger generation has many opportunities, and so obviously there's a, and to take it one step at a time, as you could
Yeah,
just narrate it.
the younger generation is not that much about that they want to like impress anyone or they want to follow some norms or mm, they are after money. I think that generally I see that kind of wisdom coming in to the younger generation now.
So, how important has spirituality been a part of your life
Yeah, very
to sort
much.
of
So whenever, like, I'm not a born spiritual person. Like my father was Arya Samaji, and my grandfather, grandmother, they are also Arya Samaji, and so they have different spiritual. Uh, they believe in simplicity and not too much on that
understandings?
puja part and all that kind of murti puja. But my mother was following whatever Sanatan Dharma, puja and all. So in our family, there's a independence, and my father was quite broad-minded. Like even if he was Arya Samaji, he did not force my mother to be Arya Samaji. And same for my grandparents. So everyone has their own way, and broad-mindedness was there in our family from the beginning. So when I grew up, I was not that spiritually inclined, but only when I'm in a difficulty, when I'm having problem, uh, then I will remember God. Otherwise, not. So, so in your journey, you will fail many times. You will fail, and many
Right,
times you will be under stress. Like when you're
right.
preparing for IIT, like slogging, and if you don't get it, then what will happen? There's a lot of stress. Uh, because I sacrificed everything else. I just focused on IIT. In fact, my teachers were complaining, my parents, uh, that if he doesn't get into IIT, then he will be nowhere. And that was the fact. So I was only
Okay.
everything. But so if I don't get, then what will happen? So a lot of stress. So that time I am remembering God. Then later also like some issues in corporate life will come, like you want something, you're not getting. So or taking time, like you want promotion, it is taking time or something like that. It looks very trivial now, but during that time it looks very big. So you will be under stress. So when you are under stress or those kind of worry or stress, then it will have a toll on your health. And
Right,
sometimes you also get into some depression, anxiety, those kind of issues come up. So
right,
everyone
right.
goes through that. I also went through that. And I think most, not everyone, many people go through that. I also went through that depression, anxiety phase in my life 2, 3 times. And so that time I will study because my natural, I'm not a blind faith person. Like there's some people who are having blind faith and they will follow some religion and rituals and they can be satisfied. So I'm not that kind of person. I'm more, I will ask question why this and why intellectual kind of thing. So I used to study like all spiritual books, everyone, because I don't know who is right, who is wrong. So even I will study Aurobindo also. I will study Ramakrishna Mission philosophy also. Any philosophy, any book. Then even Osho, everyone I followed, and uh, then I will have my own understanding. So I will not follow anyone. I will understand, and not also from religious point of view, not only Hindu, like I also go to Gurdwara, Sikh, and also I will go to other places like church and other places like I, so I respect all religion and all faith and even Buddhist, everyone. So I will study everything. Then I will make my own theory, and which will have I will understand it in my own way, not in anyone else's language. So that is the path I followed, and I have my own understanding now, and relatively I'm better. Uh, so I'm less stressful and enjoying life now after lot of struggle. I'm not saying it was easy for me. It was after a lot of struggle. So
How
I
important
found the
has
way.
the role of your family been in your well-being and in your performance and in your
No,
excellence in
the
your career?
family, I'm blessed because we have a joint family and
Mhm.
it's a parental property and my eldest brother is family and then my elder brother is family and my family and my parents all stayed in one house, like in different floors.
Right.
So we were blessed. So even if there used to be some function, some birthday, then everyone, even within our house, like 10, 15 people can get together
Get
because they
together.
will have their kids and son-in-law, sister-in-law, like that. So 15, 20 people within the house, we can get in half an hour notice for dinner
Right.
on
Right.
anyone's birthday. So I was blessed that way. But I was still very in the beginning I was very shy and can call it introvert kind of person. Uh, then
You
it has
don't look
changed.
like one right now.
I don't know, but it has changed over the years. And because when you get into spirituality, you learn something, talk to people,
Right.
enjoy. So I learned my own way, hard way. But I studied all different religious texts.
Right.
So now I
So,
have my own theory. Like some, I made my own theory, which is I don't know correct or wrong.
what is that? Five things that you want to suggest to people who are following Xena Star Saloon Chat Show. The five things from your theory of life that you want to give an anecdote to people for the well-being, for the happiness, for the zenith. Uh,
Yeah, one I already mentioned, like we have to be original. Uh, uh, we have to follow our heart. Uh, uh, so don't go after money or titles or don't go after what other people will say. So just follow your heart. That is my number one advice. Be your original self, and if you get that right, then other things will follow.
right,
So, so money will follow, fame will follow, your success will follow, everything. But if you don't like your work and just you're doing it just for the sake of more money or better salary, so then it can be a problem. So that is number one advice
right.
I would like to give. So that is, I think, the basic thing. So you want five? Five.
Any of your life experiences that you would like to share to us with?
Yeah,
There's
so that is
so
one.
much to
Then
learn from you.
second, yeah, second, I would say from my point of view, like learning is a continuous journey. So
Wow.
never stop learning. So don't think that you know everything, and so that is never the case. Because world is changing and new things will come and new way of doing things we need to learn, and so that is another important point. So that is the reason I changed my job every 3 to 4 years. So I was not changing the company. I only worked in three companies, but I changed my role.
Right,
So when you change your role, then also you get the learning. So you're not
right,
changing, you need not change the company to learn. So within the
right,
company, if you open up and talk to your bosses that I want to, like I was in manufacturing, I told my boss, like I want to be in sales in Delhi. So
right,
it was unheard of that time. Like, how can a management trainee technical from IIT who is doing technical work in factory can ask for a shift to sales?
right,
Never heard of. So they were also,
right.
well, maybe they thought I got crazy. Like, what you're asking.
Right.
But I was just following my heart. So, so then you learn new things. Uh, so learning will never stop. So that is, I think, number two kind of thing. Uh, then, what else? Like I actually covered the major ones. So like a lot of other
Oh,
things are
yes.
part of these kind of
Yes.
things, these
Right.
bigger pieces.
Right.
So like that, I can keep taking things. But these are
S-
the major things I'm telling.
So,
Minor, then, yeah.
so do you wish to see your hometown sometime,
Sorry.
Multan? Would you like to visit
Yeah,
Multan
I would like
anytime?
to visit. Definitely, I would like to visit and see my place. But difficult depending upon the situation,
Right.
India-Pakistan situation. But my uncles were my uh, paternal uncle was lucky. He was studied in Saint Stephen's and he was teaching mathematics in Saint Stephen's. And Ziaul Haq also was from Saint Stephen's. Ziaul Haq
Hmm.
also, and even Musharraf also, I think from Stephen's. So they invited
Okay.
the professors to Pakistan to visit uh, their place and be their guest. So I think he went. Uh, one of my uncle went, was invited by Ziola, other was invited by Musharraf, something like that. So both were from Stephens. So many. Earlier it was one country. The Stephens was a very
Right.
number one
Right.
college.
Right. So, a wonderful experience that you shared on today's fifth episode of season two of Xena Stars Alone. Before we close the chat show with you, your final comments?
Yeah, we have to we have to give back also to society at some point of time. So in corporate world, we are most of the time we are very selfish. Uh,
Right.
but there is a lot of contribution because of the society, because many people pay taxes, because of which I could go to Kendriya Vidyalaya at 1 rupee fees. The fees was 1 rupee.
Wow. Okay.
Maybe annual fees or I don't know, monthly fees was 1 rupee only. So my parents just paid 1 rupee. Then even my IIT education, if you look at, it was hardly 200 rupees per month, IIT
Wow.
cost. Then then I studied in FMS Delhi.
Wow.
FMS Delhi also 100 rupee or something like that, because there's no hostel. So if you look at my whole education, I have not spent more than 5-6 thousand. So like from first to 12th, just 1 rupee a month. You count how much it is. Then 200 rupee per month for 4 years in IIT. Then 100 rupee like per month in FMS, like 3 years. Uh, then how much like 10,000, 15,000 only I spent on my whole education. So
Right.
so cheap because some person paid the tax and then government is
Right.
subsidizing and then so we
Right.
have to
Right.
return to the society also at some point of time. So from that point, I think Zina is doing a great job. So we have to do some good for the society also at some point of time. So that is my final comment. I think. Unless you
So,
want to ask some
hope
question.
that the good is going through and the good that you have done of excelling in your career, excelling in your work, and being a leader that you are in the corporate world, and now extending it to the service for giving back to the society. Thank you very much for your participation on
Thank you,
Saturday
Kapil.
evening
Yeah,
and
thank you,
episode.
Kapil. It was very engaging because of you.
Thank you. And we look forward to listen more from you in the eventual episodes. But until the next episode, with me, your host Kapil Dev, on the episode 5 of season 2 of Zena Star Salon Chat Show. Good evening, namaste, and namaskar.
Yeah, thank you, Kapil. So it is. So I leave or Thank you, Kapil. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you.